Is it possible to be yourself when preaching and teaching God's word? And does it, in fact, matter? That's what we're going to be looking at today in this teaching tip number 410, part 15 of our current series, Your Voice Matters, tips for new and inexperienced speakers. And today's tip comes from Trevor Mendez, a second tip from him. And he wrote in and he said this. He said, be yourself. There's a place for imitating helpful qualities in other speakers, but Christ in me will likely look different to Christ in you. And authenticity, he says, is important to hearers. He's quite right. So the question is, can we find our own authentic speaking style, and does it matter? That's what we're going to talk about today. So why finding your speaking style matters? I think it's important for the reason that Trevor gives. Listeners are fine-tuned to detect a lack of authenticity. We need to be ourselves. People will listen to us and forgive many things in our public speaking, our foibles, and thank goodness for that. But a lack of authenticity will turn people off very quickly. Authenticity, you could say, is more important than presentability in public speaking. Now, perhaps people would forgive us if we're not fully authentic because they love the message, and that's fine. They think that's more important than who we are. However, a lack of authenticity, a lack of being ourselves can turn people off. It can distract them from the message. Woe to us if a lack of authenticity prevents people from engaging with God's word. That would be so tragic at worst and just a waste of time anyway at best. Jesus, think about him. He taught, how did he teach? He taught as one with authority, Luke 4 verse 32. Now, several factors are in play there that gave him that authority, but at least one of them is that Jesus was himself. He was authentic. You can't have authority, not genuine, deep, real authority, without authenticity. So we know that Jesus had that and he taught as himself. So that then leads to the big question, how do you find your own speaking style? Let me give you a few ideas and then let me know what you think. Firstly, learn from other speakers, imitate other speakers, but do not copy them. Have a look and watch speakers you admire online or in person, take notes on what they do well, look to imitate their good qualities, and do that watching them in the flesh if possible. Something is lost online, but don't copy them. Imitate, learn, but don't copy. Instead, look for ways to incorporate their best attributes in your own personal context. Be especially careful about copying if your role models speak into a different culture to your own. Secondly, seek feedback. We've talked about this before, but it comes in here as well. Ask trusted friends whether you come across as authentic. I remember my wife telling me she didn't like it a few years ago. She told me, I don't like it when you shout in your preaching. I wasn't aware that I was shouting, or at least that I was coming across like I was shouting. I just thought I was being passionate and a bit loud, but she said, no, it comes across like shouting. I listened back to myself and I realized actually it really does sound like I'm shouting. And that's just actually not really me. I was putting it on. I think it was subconscious more than conscious, but I was putting on this shouty kind of thing because I saw other people doing it and I thought that's the way it was meant to be done, but it wasn't me. I'm not really habitually a shouter. I can shout, but it's not really me. Why would I do it in biblical lessons? Only because I saw other people doing it. So I stopped doing it. Thank goodness my wife gave me that feedback. Get some feedback from other people to help you to be fully authentic. Thirdly, do your own review of your own lessons. Do some feedback with yourself. Look at yourself, listen to yourself on video, on audio. Is that speaker the real you? Listen and think, does that sound like me? Are you the same in public and in private? I mean, there is something different when speaking to a large group of people and the way that we comport ourselves and the way that we speak. There are differences, but it should only be an exaggeration of who you really are not a weakening of your true self. So do some feedback on yourself. To wrap up for today, be yourself in your lessons. And in doing so, your personality will shine through. And in doing that, you will reveal aspects of God and His Word differently to somebody else. Somebody said, what is preaching? Preaching is truth through personality. Truth through personality. I like that. I think it's true. God designed you and I and our hearers to hear His Word through a variety of people, and they are all different. And when we hear God's Word through different people's life experiences and personality, we see different facets of this text. So let one of the people with your personality, let it be you, the real you, let it shine through, let it come through. Be yourself when you preach and you teach. Brene Brown put it well when she said, authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. Embrace who you are. So here's a question for you. What barriers do you sense from revealing the real you when you speak? What barriers are there for that real you to come through? And how can you overcome those obstacles? So please let me know what you think. Make a comment on this week's topic. Leave it where we can all see it, because we learn best when we're learning in community. By the way, do consider joining us for AIM UK and Ireland. Our current module is New Testament Survey. You can find the details on the website or send me a message and I'll get back to you. If you have a question about the Bible, drop that my way via the email address, malcolm@malcolmcox.org. If you'd like a copy of my free ebook on spiritual disciplines, then sign up for my newsletter at the website, malcolmcox.org. Please pass the link on to anybody you think might benefit. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I really look forward to hearing from you. Until the next time, next week's episode, remember at all times to keep calm and carry on teaching. Take care and God bless.